Moms, and we're coming to you from Milk Estates, and we're going into week 3 of the NFL, so we have a lot to talk about today. Hey, if you missed our live on Thursday, which was a couple weeks ago, go head over to irrationalmoms.com and you can catch it. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, and irrationalmoms.com. Leave a comment, question, I mean, we're always looking. We haven't had a fan question in a long time. We have a lot of comments, but I haven't seen any fan questions. But I don't know. Maybe we need to check Reddit. We're on Twitter or X.
We need to make a post
we
asking
should do
for
that.
them. I'll do that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just have been... I got the COVID brain still. I don't know what's going on. And I'm living in a hotel because my house flooded and they're doing work. So I don't know what's going on.
Man. We're kind of a hot mess over here. Actually, we've had to move our recording from a Monday to a Tuesday because of all of it.
Yeah.
So, and we have to get out early because Tris has to go to her
sound bath.
Sound bath. That's right. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about this.
I'm excited. Very excited.
Okay.
Sure what it is,
but
I bet I'm not the only one that doesn't know what that is.
Well, I think we will get into that next week, right? Because we were hoping to talk about it this week, but we have a lot to talk about. First off, let's talk about this shirt. What's going on, Tris? I mean, what does it say?
It says "We the People," and then it says 1776.
It's meant to be political, 100%.
I tied it up so that I could not wear a bra.
Both parties are all about we the people and the Republic, right?
I mean, we're in the United States. It should be everybody together on this one.
Should be, but that is not the meaning behind certain phrases, symbols, all that. Some things are co-opted by certain groups and amplified or used in certain ways, is all I'm saying.
Well, all we can do, it is a political year. We're not going to talk about politics.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
If I sit back, you can see we the people.
I think if everybody just focuses on what's inside the shirt, it's fine.
We the what?
We the people. If you live in the U.S. and you don't like this shirt, then that's a you problem, not a me problem.
If you don't like inside this shirt, that's a problem.
Yes, I would say focus on the second one. And we're all good.
Yes. See, right. I tied it up so I didn't have to wear an actual bra, like not even a bralette or a sports bra.
But I mean, are you ever wearing one?
I mean, I wear like the little bralettes. They're not very much integrity, but it feels like
it's more for looks. It's just for looks. They're cute.
It's just so people don't give her like a funny eye of like, what is she wearing?
I saw this. There's this influencer that I follow on Instagram. And I don't know.
Isn't that what most women do anyways?
Her life just keeps getting more and more like crazy train wrecky.
Oh wait, hold on. Is this the one you've talked
probably
about before?
There's several, but the thing, and I don't really like this person. However, I am always so surprised. So on some of her posts, like she got her girls redone and she's not wearing a bra, which I mean I have no problem with, don't care at all. I think wear whatever you're comfortable in.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at I guess I just forget how weird and prudish some people are. Like women go after her just for the simple act of not having on a bra. And I'm like, how could this bother you about someone that much? Like, how can you care what this woman is doing? Like it affects you in no way. And we know people are like this, but I guess when I see it, I'm always just so shocked because I couldn't care even the tiniest bit anything about what anyone's doing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, why are these women, and why is it as a woman you're so upset by that? Something is wrong on the inside of you if someone else's choices that may be more like liberal than yours fashion wise bother you. That's a you problem.
It is a you problem.
Yeah.
But
we know
part
that
of the society, right? That women are just going to be like so judgmental.
Right.
So whenever I go to any of my kids' sport or any kids' event, and I know there's going to be moms there, I will always put a bra on, or like I'll put shields on, but for the most part, I don't want to wear a bra. Like if I go out at night, I do not wear a bra. I'm like, I hate wearing a bra. Right. I'm like, and women that think that we should wear bras, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
No, they're terrible. I wear one because I don't have any internal help to hold mine up. So I do wear one when I go out, but at the same time, like I definitely don't in my home. I don't often, if I'm driving carpools in the morning. I mean, I'm wearing a baggy sweatshirt. I'm not dressing inappropriately, but I'm like, why would you want people to have to wear this uncomfortable monstrosity more?
They were not meant to be pushed in like that. I sent you guys that article like a while back that was talking about women are more perky. Like I have not worn bras for, like I never slept in them or anything like that.
No.
And even when
Why
I
are
was
people
naturally
sleeping
bigger,
in bras?
I know. I'm like, what are you doing? But
No,
that's
that's
like,
crazy.
whatever.
I mean, when I was nursing children, I did because
Oh yeah,
I
of
needed
course
the
you have to.
I needed
Well,
the nursing pads, you know, because they
Yeah.
would just leak
Yeah.
everywhere. But I can't believe, like, a friend of mine was telling me recently about like sleeping in a bra. I was just like, and she also has implants. I'm like, why would you be doing that? What in what world would that make sense to me? Like, it just seems so uncomfortable.
Right.
But there are a lot of people who are uncomfortable with their own bodies or with I'm not talking about my friend when I say this, by the way. This is totally different. But like they're uncomfortable with nudity, with their own nudity. They're the never nudes. Like the parody, the parody
nudes.
from what was it? Which show was that?
I don't know, but that's funny. I'm never I'm gonna use that. The never nude. Are you a never nude?
You know, Toby was the never nude with the banana stand. What show was that with Jason Bateman?
Idea.
Oh, you're talking about Arrested Development.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I was like, I know. As soon as you said banana stand, there's money in the banana stand.
Yes, I'm like, Triss is definitely gonna know. She knows TV shows better than me, or the names of things better than me. Yeah, there's funny. One of the guys like Tobias. He won't even wear, like, he doesn't want to be naked in the shower even. So he's
that's
funny. Yeah. Anyway,
but I wonder. I mean, going back to this, like even with Triss, I wonder about this. What about like if you're in a bathing suit though, if you're in a bathing suit, you're gonna be like, there's no bra, there's no like padding, it's all just like, it's all hanging out, and that's okay. That's okay.
Well, no, it's to a lot of those people, it's not okay. Like they get worked up if it's too small of a triangle or like the bottom doesn't cover enough. I'm like, the butt is already basically out. What difference does it make if it covers this much or this much? Like it literally doesn't matter. It's so
it
crazy.
Doesn't. I always thought that was wild. Like it is the exact same thing. What's the difference?
Right. It's a little more material and you should wear what you're comfortable in, but who cares why would it bother you that her butt's a little more out? Or a little less out.
Plus, who knows with the sizing anymore? I swear to God, I showed you. I bought that extra large, and it was like enough to cover the main spot that you would want to cover. And I'm like, whose extra large is this exactly?
Well, I think some of those swimsuits, they're made for like, you see those people for people who pose in bikinis online that aren't actually meant to like walk around outside or go to the beach, because you literally can't move in them or things actually
one
come
false
out.
move. And
I think that's like a Vegas bathing suit. Or
I think so too.
Yeah. Like
exactly.
It's a party bathing suit, right? Like where I'm like, I'm here to meet a man.
Exactly. And
not to lay out or go to the, someone's family barbecue in the backyard and have a pool party.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
Although if you're offended if I show up in my bikini, I don't know what to tell you.
I know people actually get riled up about like adult women. They're like, she's wearing a bikini in front of her children. I'm like, so like what? That's a problem somehow? How can that actually bother you? Like, there's nothing in the Bible that would suggest that's not okay if you believe in that. So like, what are we doing? Why are we
because everybody has to find something to be offended by. It's really kind of entertaining.
That's fair. But it's I guess it surprises me that like you have the energy to put towards something like that.
Right.
I think just women naturally like to put other women down.
That's true.
It makes them feel better about themselves because they have all these insecurities. And if they just were just, hey, you do you, I'll do me. And if you don't like your body, then do something about it.
Right. Or cover it up if you want to. That's fine too. Like,
I mean, but it's not like, I don't know. Women are just so awful to each other and just
what? Yeah.
And then they give out, then it's like, I wonder, it's like, how do you live your life? And I'm like, is this what you like project onto your own children? Because if you're saying this about other women, then we wonder why these little girls are actually like mean girls.
Why they have like food diaries when they're 10 years old. Like that's the most insanely unhealthy stuff I've ever heard of.
And or I feel sorry for your husband because it's like, now you're like, oh, look at her. But it's like, why don't you just dress a little sexy? Or why don't you walk around naked? Hey, there's something wrong with that.
Or just find whatever works for you, like whatever that means, right? I mean, God, it's super, super weird.
If everybody would just worry about themselves.
Right. I carry way more about how your actions than what clothes you're wearing. Like, be a good person out in the world. I don't care if you have on a swimsuit or you're in a fully covered veil or in a burqa or something. Literally don't care. Be a good person in the
I
world.
always find women, like, I find women attractive by their confidence in themselves. So whether doesn't matter what size they are, but if they're just confident and they can just like, they rock it and they're like, this is me, I'm going to rock this bathing suit. And I don't care what anyone thinks about me. I don't care if I'm like out of shape. I don't care what I look like, but I just know it's like, I love myself and F everybody else. To me, I'm like, that's the person I want to be friends with. The person that just doesn't give a F about anybody else. It's just like, hey, you do you, I'm going to do me. And I'm like, and I love myself. I mean, I like people that are just like, I accept my body. I have all my little flaws that I have because we all have them.
Think about, what's her name? How do you pronounce her name? Is it Ilona or Leona, the rugby player she was in Sports Illustrated?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. She's basically like a social media superstar now. She is very pretty. She has some masculine features. And I'm saying this because she talks about it, not because I'm putting anything on her, but she's basically the best advocate for women loving their bodies that I've ever seen in my life. And she talks so much about, because if you're a woman who's bigger growing up, like I was always bigger, tall, thankfully, I mean, I did have like feminine curves, so I didn't have quite some of the same problems, but women with a strong jawline and all these different things, it's like men insult them, they make fun of them, they say they're masculine, whatever. But she's like, I figured out how powerful my body is, all the amazing things it can do. She's a great athlete, but she is also pretty. She likes to dress up. She wears lipstick. And I'm like, man, where was a role model like this? Like all our lives. I mean, she is incredible. And I generally don't really care or get into following people that much. But she's really awesome. And and I've heard so many women that are like our ages who bring her up to me, which is why I started kind of paying attention in the first place, about how much they wish that they had someone like that, showing that like all bodies can be good bodies and be hot bodies and beautiful. And she is pretty. And yeah, there are definitely some men that are like, oh, she looks like a man. It's like, well, okay, so what? She's an Olympic gold or bronze medalist. I mean, she's super successful, beautiful. She's so strong and fast. Like everything about her impresses me. So I think it's great. I mean, I know it's questionable to some people when, like, say, Sports Illustrated has brought in people that are not traditionally thought of as attractive swimsuit models, but I don't think she fits the bill in terms of that. Meaning, like, she's not someone they chose to, like, say, put a fat person on the cover, or I don't know how to say that like tactfully. Do you know what I mean? She's less
someone
of like
someone who's like would fall into the obesity, like,
or like a token
category?
person, because we're like nothing about her is promoting anything negative or unhealthy. Whereas some people look at overweight people and they're like, you're promoting obesity or what. I don't think that, but I'm just saying, we know that people say that. Whereas she's just like, everything about her is like positive and awesome. So like,
well, I also think we grew up in a time where it's like we didn't have social media, but we did have magazines, right? Like teen magazines, and it's everybody was like, I mean, they were like anorexic then, so it's like you always thought that was like what you needed to be.
Yep, 100%. And women didn't know how to talk to their kids either about stuff like that. I mean, my parents weren't bad, but I know a lot of moms who were giving their daughters diet pills in college and just always promoted those behaviors. And I've tried to always be really careful, especially because I have a daughter, about how I talk about why we work out and why we exercise. And it's because we want to be healthy and have strong bodies and all those things. Not because, oh, I got fat, I need to lose weight, or, oh, your tummy's a little pudgy, you need to go do some cardio. Like I've always tried to never talk about myself, even if I feel that way, because I don't want to screw her up. You know what I mean?
Also, I think we're at an advantage because we have had some experience online now, we'll just say that we understand that a majority of men like real women's bodies. They don't, they like some shape. They like some curves. They don't mind the cellulite and like some of that. It's a real woman. Like, but if you put somebody who's like, younger and like no body fat and then like just a perfect person, it's like, that's not, attainable. Well, that's like not somebody you're ever going to go up and talk to. Yeah, she's beautiful to look at. She's hot. And I can maybe, but it's like, that's not somebody that I'm actually going to like have a relationship with or actually talk to. But I can talk to, like, yes, the average mom that sits there at soccer games or water polo or whatever, the track and field meets, that we can talk to and like appreciate, like, hey, they're just nice people. And they have like nice figures. And that's what most men like.
They like a real,
Yeah.
they're
Like
like
you're
a variety.
confident, you take care of yourself, and you're
Yeah.
kind. I think kindness goes a long way. That's a lot more of an attractive feature, in my opinion. I mean, it's like, especially for guys, like not everybody that I've dated in the past was like the most attractive, but I'm like funny and kind. Those things are what I'm more. So I don't know. I think guys feel the same way. It's like the energy. I've had people
All
tell me
about the
like
vibes.
the energy like I'm feeling is interesting, and that
Yeah.
makes me feel good. So yeah, I think that makes a difference.
It's very true though, because somebody on the cover of a magazine, they're beautiful, and maybe every guy would like that,
They
but
could
they
be a
also
total biatch.
they could be
Well,
awful,
and they
but also there's
airbrushed out all of it too.
right. Well,
It's
that's
all
the other
been
thing. But there's not enough women that look like that for everyone, and they're just not attainable. So it's like, all right, well, look for some regular people that you still find attractive, because look, there's people of all sizes and colors and appearance types that have mates. So obviously, people like regular looking people,
Oh, exactly.
But now I will say Ileana, I need to figure out how to pronounce her name.
I think it's Ileana.
She's not attainable for almost anyone either, because her body, the shape she's in is ridiculous. Like, she is like an athletic specimen. So even there, it's like she's doing 90, better than 99% of people in the first place.
Yeah.
She may not look like a traditional bikini cover model, but her body, it's crazy. I'm like, God, her legs. Imagine if my legs were that toned and like shapely and smooth. Oh my God. I would love that.
I wish my legs were super toned. That's Mrs Poindexter. Damn it, her legs are so toned. I can't stand it.
She's like, I can't lift weights. I bulk up too much. I'm like, I lift weights for years and still look the same.
Okay, so with that, I think we should transition over to Trish's snack.
Yes.
Speaking of being healthy,
real women eat snacks. We eat food and drink alcohol.
Yeah, what you got today?
We do. I've been trying to be good. I'm not good today, but I tried this thing. This is a trial and error. So it's a kind of caved in cookie in there, but it's a chocolate chip Nutella pie. So I basically put a layer of chocolate chip cookie dough on the bottom, and then I put like a huge scoop of Nutella, and then I made my own little cookie dough like crust and like sealed it in. And I baked this, but I think I didn't bake it long enough, and that was part of the issue because it totally like caved in. I added a little salt to this one because I did try some last night. So I'm going to see if I like it better with the salt.
Cooked? Because I think that might happen anyway, just because of what you're baking it in, because the edges will puff up and they'll stick to the sides of containers sometimes. So then when it settles...
That's exactly what happened. I think I could have left it in there for like 17 minutes. Just because of like what you were saying with the container that it's in, it definitely took a little bit longer, but I wanted it to be a little bit more solid. This one looks good, but I actually rebaked this one for like a few minutes longer just so it would.
Because you still want it to be chewy and gooey, right?
Yeah, I used to want it to be gooey. And the first time it was like basically the top part was perfect, and then the bottom part was still kind of cookie dough. It was like hot cookie dough. I'm not complaining.
No, I've done things like that too.
I would put some whipped cream on that.
Yeah. It's tricky. Like I did. How is it?
Ooh, I like it with the salt on top.
Chocolate chip. Most cookie dough needs a tiny, like most places or people that make cookie dough, there's not enough salt in it. Not that you necessarily need everything to be salty, but it enhances the flavor. I did a Nutella chocolate chip pie one year. Sometimes I do stuff like that at holidays. Like I make the proper holiday desserts, but then like one of my kids and some other kids don't necessarily always want the like nice pies or whatever. So I'll do something like chocolate chip cookie Nutella pie or something, and then they freak out. They love it.
Yeah, this is good. It's not.
How much can you eat though? Like, how much of that can you eat? Is it not so sweet?
Oh no, I can't eat a ton of this. This would take me a couple of tries. I'm not going to say the same thing.
A couple tries. But are the tries all in one day or?
Puts it down, comes back.
Spaced out throughout the day.
It depends. It depends on the day. Some days I'm feeling healthier than others. And some days I get a little out of control. I eat too many peanut butter cups, and I'm trying so hard. I can't help it.
I mean, dude, you can handle eating those sweets. Eat them. They're delicious.
I know, but I get in my head. See, I'm that person that sees these chicks online. I've learned better than to like obviously not compare myself because we have to look at those things every day, being like having an online presence. But I will straight be like, oh my gosh, I'm so like I have all this fat here. And I know that's not true, but in my
it's
head,
not true because you're
in my
literally
head,
like, objectively speaking, and it's not like I'm the only one that thinks this. There's like millions of people, but you literally are the perfect specimen. And you're also lovely, which helps because you got the good vibes. But
Aw.
you're the one that people are like, remember that one guy that was like, you should lay off the snacks? It's like, excuse me, sir?
I know he did. I was like, dang.
I mean, if we took an online poll
like,
and 5 million people answered it, did Triss eat the snacks or stay the way she is? I'm gonna guess there might be 3 people out of 5 million that would say less snacks.
Yeah, probably. I think you should just, at the end of the day, listen to your body. If you're hungry, eat something.
Exactly. And if you like anorexic chicks, that's cool, but you don't find that
us.
here. You're not gonna find that here.
Not. I gotta keep funding the booty. Okay, that can't go anywhere. Otherwise, somebody's not gonna be happy.
Like, because honestly, if you have curves and you lose a bunch of weight, it usually is not flattering anymore.
No, because that's why I had to get my boobs done, because I wasn't eating right, and then I had little pancakes instead of what I normally decide to get them back. But yeah, no,
things get a little saggy, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Funny. And if you all don't know, Triss is like the nicest out of all of us. Like the sweetest.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Like, right? I mean, just the most just like.
No, I think you guys are sweet.
We're sweet to you because we love you, but to anybody else, mostly no. But you're just a nice person, and you're like just so pleasant. I've never been described as pleasant for like even 5 minutes of my
Me neither. A lot of words, and that does not fall into the category.
Never
of, like,
once
how
has that word been used
describe me.
For me.
Grandma Poindexter to the range on Sunday because I was like, this is perfect. I'm like, there's so many men there. Like, it's all men, right? Like all
better
and I'm like,
idea than Home Depot, can I say?
I know, right? So I was like, come on. I'm like, isn't he perfect? I'm like, wear a low cut top, like, and show off your boobs. And so she full on had these like little like
Grandma Poindexter.
Yes, she dressed it up
very well endowed.
Yes, and so she had like a pastel pink pants on with this white and pink top, and it was like her boobs are hanging out, and she had her sunglasses on, and then I wore like a pink tank top, not knowing that she was wearing pink that day, and I was like, oh. Now we're like matchy at the range, like mother daughter.
Except Grandma Poindexter is like the size of the 3 of us combined. That's how well Grandma Poindexter is.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty. It's like a helmet kind of.
It is. It's impressive. I'm trying to make sure I don't use like the wrong words because this goes on YouTube, but
yeah, and I mean, and for her age, I mean, she's super attractive and hot, like, and she carries herself really well, and so of course,
she's hilarious.
Yeah, and so of course, like, we get there, and it's like it's super busy, right? Because it's like almost hunting season. All these fools are waiting to the last minute to like sight their gun in, like me. And so we're there, and it was like early in the morning too, because I'm like, we're gonna get there early, so there's like no people to the left of us, and all of a sudden like these 4 really hot sheriffs come over, and I'm like, oh, do you need an extra bench? I can move one of my guns for you. And I'm like, and so she's over there like freaking talking to them. So what kind of gun is that? What's going on? And I was like, good. See, I mean, she's like, and these guys are like,
you still got game.
Oh yeah, and they're like in their 30s, and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I'm like, they're so hot. I mean, I'm like a man in uniform.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, if I ever got divorced, you know where I'd be every weekend? The gun range.
Right?
She's just hanging out, not shooting. She's waiting for these guys to go.
She's just like hanging out. And then when somebody walks up, she starts getting her gun ready or something. But
I have a bruise like on my hand. Like I busted a blood vessel, and then like I kind of started bruising my shoulder again. But yeah.
Didn't you go to the range this weekend too, Triss?
I did, because
Yeah.
there's 3 new handguns, and I do have kind of a funny story. One of them is a Beretta. I don't know what kind. Don't ask me further about it, but it's like
I will not be
it has
taking any
like
further
It's like a
questions.
40,
has a
9
trigger.
millimeter.
It's
Yeah.
it's a 9mm, yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
they were all 3 9mm. The cool one
Okay.
was the Canik TTI. That is a badass
That one is
one.
so sexy.
That's the
Oh my
John
God.
Wick one, and that was fun as hell to shoot.
You
But
got to send Matt a picture of that. Can we post a picture of that in the podcast or no?
I don't. Let's not.
Okay, I didn't know if it's suppressed.
they may not like
People
it.
can just Google.
So
That's
the
true.
Beretta has like a trigger safety. I think that's what it's called, right? Where it's like you just pull it a little bit, it doesn't actually go off. But everything is so stiff because they were brand new that I literally didn't have enough power in my finger to actually like cock the gun all the way back. So like you could see the little thing pulling back in the back. And I was like, I'm trying so hard. So I actually did not get to shoot that one because I could not get to go. The other one, my SIG, I did. Yeah, he'll have to break that one in. But the SIG that I got, that one was fine.
Well, usually like some of those, like some of the triggers, like you can change like where they're a little lighter, right? Because it's like the weight of it. So they have like a certain weight, like a 5. Yeah. So you can have it changed out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For your
it'll get better.
Hands.
Right? I was like, how do you work out fingers in not a dirty way?
Right. Well, I got like big, tough chef
what
hands,
can I do?
like from rolling bread and shaping things and whisking tons. So, you know, you just gotta like maybe do some more hard labor in the kitchen.
Yes. Get those squeeze balls.
Yeah.
Deadlifting 180 pounds is not enough to clearly work on my
because it's not working on your
grip strength.
Exactly. You can get those. There's things that you can get.
They do. They have,
I don't know what they're called.
Okay, it's like for your grip strength.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know what they're called, but I've seen people.
Sure, you can Google that, like, or put on Amazon, and it can be delivered later today for you.
Exactly.
You sit there. I have other ways. I'll text you ways you can help. You can do that. All right, we need to get into this last week 2 of NFL. But before that, do we want to talk about college football? I didn't watch anything, but I know you all were like blowing it up about the Georgia game.
Yeah. So last weekend, Alabama struggled against a team they shouldn't have struggled with. This week, Georgia struggled even worse against a team they shouldn't have struggled against.
That was
almost didn't win. I mean, what's interesting to me is like people know this about me. I love my teams, but I'm never somebody that's going to be out talking a bunch of smack before a game, because I think I've said this before, but if your team loses, you look like an idiot and then everyone harasses you. So I don't do any of that. I just want my team to win. I want to cheer, whatever. But man, I get really stressed out with college football, and that game was not fun at all to watch. However, I will say, so Georgia dropped from number 1 in the rankings, which is good. Georgia is at its best when they can at least manufacture some adversity, even if they don't have it. Like in 2021, that was the most dominant team they'd had in forever. And then the next year, when they won the back-to-back championships, that year, they're finding it hard to figure out, like, well, how do you get motivated when you're just and Alabama struggle with this too. Like, how do you stay motivated at a certain level when you're just so much better than everybody else? Like, it's hard. So Nolan Smith famously started the rumor that everybody said Georgia was going to go 7-5 that year. So those boys got fired up. They were just ready to go. We're not going to, And then later on, Nolan Smith admitted he made it up. He is now plays for the Eagles. He's like joked about it. He's such a lovely human being. But then he sort of like cops to it, after the season. So then last year, they weren't as dominant. They struggled, whatever. But the times I've seen Kirby Smart actually almost be happy were games like this, because it gives you like new material, basically. Like, you need to have adversity. So now when I watched him in the post-game presser, I love that man, by the way. He had the most evil grin underneath everything he was saying. I could tell he was so happy about what happened. I mean, it was an absolute show. It was terrible. However, that man was like, yes, because he knows what he's going to get to do to these guys for the next 2 weeks, getting ready for Alabama. Like, there is no better thing that I feel like there's nothing better that could have happened for them getting ready for Alabama. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win, but I don't know. who knows what's
It'll be
happen.
an interesting game, but yeah, we were exactly sitting there like, crap, don't let this go downhill for them, and then they come at us all crazy. Not that we don't want their best game, but we also don't want their best game.
It's going to be a good one, and Texas moved up to number 1, and I do believe Texas looks like the team that should be number 1. Honestly, they look really good, and even after, and I don't actually know about Quinn Ewers. I don't know what his status is, but Arch Manning went in and he balled out. So good for him. I think a lot of people weren't sure how he was going to look, but I mean, and that kid can run.
Right. I saw that. I was like, holy cow.
It was, I don't know if it was his dad was the one that was super fast.
Yes, or if it was his dad.
Cooper. And he was the one that was super fast, right?
Because I think it was Peyton or Eli said we didn't get that. It skipped a generation.
No, they were slow lumbering white dudes. And then you got, because Cooper was the wide receiver, right? Yeah, he was clocked going over 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's wild.
He's a little white kid. That's fast.
That is fast.
Anyway, that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Georgia's off this week. Who does Alabama play?
I don't know, but Texas fans, and I'm from Texas. Okay, right. I can say this. They're like the college equivalent of Dallas Cowboy fans. Okay.
Oh, they're so obnoxious.
Oh God, it's bad.
Do you know
I'm
what?
Sorry.
Hey, are y'all playing Texas in the regular season?
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest. Okay. I don't usually look at the schedules.
Just gonna have to check it out.
Matt, can you tell me?
Just put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat. So Georgia plays both Alabama and Texas this year. It's the first year they've changed the structure of the schedule. So Georgia's sort of playing all the tough SEC teams. And they play Texas a little later in the season. But one of the hilarious things is when Texas has moved to the SEC this year, one of the things that the SEC came out and said is, so previously you would get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I believe, if you did the horns down to taunt the Longhorns, which is the biggest, most, what's a polite way to say you're a crybaby? Biggest crybaby problem. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Alabama does not play Texas. Getting a penalty for doing horns down to someone is ridiculous. So the SEC was like, that's not going to be a penalty. You want to throw up your horns up and then you get beat. They can throw up horns down. And I was like, yes, we're not playing that crybaby nonsense in the SEC. So what I really want to happen is I want us to beat them so we can. Even though Kirby has always admonished the players they're not to do that, and he suspended people before after doing that when they were told not to. I think Nick Saban did the same thing. I remember him yelling in the game at one of his players after they beat Texas for doing it. I want to see a lot of it though.
I don't understand why. Are we not allowed to have friendly trash talk? It just this is what I'm saying. This is why they are the equivalent.
But there was a call last night.
It's a direct.
There was a call last night, right? There was taunting last night, right in front of the ref, or was it? It was a penalty that got called. What was it? I can't even because I didn't have the TV on. It was on
taunting.
It was on.
Who was it? I missed that because I was out of the house, so I was watching on my phone.
It was. I want to say on. Was it
Drake London?
After he had that big first down, Matt.
It was I want to say it was in the third quarter or fourth quarter because I was kind of watching football a little bit last night. And I was just busy doing a bunch of other work. Yeah. So I couldn't, I was watching it and then not really. And then I was they called him and I'm like, what was that? Just because he kind of made this almost shooting.
No. Did he do the first down thing like that, but at someone and then they called it taunting? I think that might've been what it was actually. I may have heard that.
It was.
Maybe I had one AirPod in and my phone when I was watching it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can't taunt people. I think taunting.
Come on. I look at that and I'm like, you guys are a bunch of men.
I love taunting.
You guys are all talking to each other out there, calling each other's names and calling, bad names too, things that, but, and so that's okay. It's okay to call you something, but I can't taunt you.
You
that's
can't rub a play in somebody. Yeah, you should be able, I think you should be able to taunt people. I don't think you should be able to commit personal fouls and stuff, but taunting, I love it. Yeah. I would love more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's what, I think
does this count in that same category? I don't know if we had this on the list to talk about, but that whole Shador Sanders not wanting to shake the dude's hand because he said,
Shador,
let's see how your Instagram followers get you? Like, really, that was enough for you to not shake the dude's hand? You are a baby.
I
Well,
think
most
that's
men
true, but
are
I also
babies.
thought that
Chris, most men
Shador.
are.
I thought Shador had left that game to go to the locker room and get checked. Everybody was saying
That
he had
was a different.
left the game before it was over. Was that
I
a
thought that
different
was a.
thing?
Oh, that might have been a
I think it
different
was the
game.
same
No,
one.
I think. Oh, I thought that was a different game. I thought that was
But
the
if we're
week
gonna
before.
get into a whole Dion thing, that's a whole big conversation. I don't know if we
That
got
is a
time
whole
for all
big
that today.
conversation.
Well, I think we should let's review really fast, like
Let's go
some
through
of
our
the
NFL
surprising
stuff and
things.
then
Yes. So last night, I am really surprised that the Falcons like pulled it off over the Eagles. I was like, good for you, Kirk Cousins. But wow.
Me too. And I like Raheem Morris. You know, he was the Rams DC. So I mean, I kind of felt I've never really cared much about Falcons, and I like the Eagles, but the Eagles lost that game for themselves. I mean, they basically had a chance to ice out the game. It was like third and I don't know, 3 or 4 and maybe 2. Jalen Hurts threw to Saquon wide ass open, would have had a first down, probably would have gone down right before he went in the end zone. So then they could run out the clock, and Saquon dropped the ball.
Yep.
And then instead of what I also don't understand, because they were already at the goal line, is why didn't the Eagles go for it there instead of kicking a field goal? Because, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go for it and you miss, then they have the ball on the 2-yard line instead of you kicking off and them having better field position. So to me, it seemed, what I felt like after that game was that Raheem Morris just outcoached Nick Sirianni. And I'm never going to be a Saquon Barkley slanderer, but he did miss that ball, and that would have iced the game. So that was a weird ending.
Well, I mean, they did talk about that at the very end, like, you know, why did they make those calls, right? And you never know, like, what was the coach's...
What did they say? Because I was driving. So
I mean, just like, if he wouldn't... Well, number one, if he wouldn't have missed the ball, right? I mean, that would have done it. And then also what you're talking about, like the field goal. Like, those are things where it's like, why did he make those calls as a coach that he did? I don't know.
I mean, maybe he just was confident. Maybe he was confident in his defense, but honestly, after the way that the Falcons were able to run the ball, I would not have been confident in my defense in that scenario. Honestly, because they were not looking their best. And I think it was Darius Slay that got scored on at the very end too. And I love Darius Slay, but
I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit, it's been surprising to say the least this year. At least surprising. On Sunday, like the 10 o'clock games where I'm like, some of the people that won where I'm like, what the heck is going on?
The 10 o'clock games on Sunday were absolutely wild and unexpected.
Yes. Right.
The Rams are cooked pretty much. Their season's basically over because well, some of the O-line guys will come back in a week or two, but they've had like basically third string practice squad guys running the O-line. Puka Nacua went out first game. Cooper Kupp is now out again. And to me, it just feels like, oh, this is going to be like 2022 when Matthew almost got killed because he had no protection. He spent half the season in the hyperbaric chamber. At the end of that season, Matthew, Cooper, and Aaron Donald were all in the injured IR. So it really just feels like, I mean, how do you even recover from all of that? Because, and the other thing about the Rams that have been upset about is, all right, Aaron Donald retired. You can't control that. But then you're going to let Ernest Jones go, who was the defensive play caller, captain, fantastic leader, beloved. How are you going to basically have no veteran leadership on your defense and expect that it's going to go any kind of way better than what it did? I mean, we have I think our CB 1 and 2 are also on the IR. But, I mean, Kyler Murray just cooked them. And Marvin Harrison Jr. cooked. Absolutely cooked. It was embarrassing. So, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I've heard people talking about, there's a lot of talk about, oh, well, the Rams should just trade Matthew Stafford to the Dolphins because they need a quarterback. And Matthew should be playing on a good team for the rest of his career. Because he's old. He's probably not playing that much longer.
Well, I mean, the injuries, I feel like the injuries right now are just like super surprising, right? I mean, going back to the Dolphins where it's like, what the heck happened there? He should have never run that ball.
Tua reverted to his 2022 form. Mm-hmm. Like after he had those he had 3 serious concussions that year. After that, he bulked up. He did martial arts. Like he learned how to fall correctly, all that stuff. And he looked so good last year. And this year he was down 14 pounds.
That's what I heard. 14 pounds is a lot.
That's a lot. And like, why would you do that when it was so successful for you last year? I mean, you need to continue that, because even though, last year was a good year for him, continuing to pile on severe concussions is a problem, even if it's 2 years later. I mean, I'm really worried about that guy.
They haven't, I don't know. I think that he should think about his health. And I don't really understand. I saw something from Mike McDaniel that was like, having to think about his future is not the best thing for him right now. Like, what are you saying? And I
thought that was weird.
I'm just like, so you're saying he shouldn't worry about his health? Like, concussions are a very serious thing when you keep getting them like that. Like, it's not anything to mess around with. So I just don't understand. It's not, maybe it's not meant to be. You were an amazing player. It kind of gives me like the Tebow vibes. Like, you were incredible in college. It didn't work out as well getting into the pro scene, and that's fine. It doesn't have to work out all the time. Like, think about your health and let the team move on to something that's going to work out better.
Well, I mean, there are long term, right? Because otherwise, I mean, he could end up like really just.
Antonio Brown said he should retire, and if the king of CTESPN says you should retire because of brain injury, I feel like, how do you not take that I mean, I know he's a very unserious person, but I think he was being very serious. And I mean, Tua has 2 little babies. I mean, I know
does he?
Yeah, I mean, they're very young children. I mean, him and his wife are young too. I think they're like 26, maybe, or something like that. But I mean, these things compound, and they're.
Yep.
I guess I would never want to. I mean, I think he's a great guy. I would never want to say you need to stop playing football, but there are definitely people who had their careers cut short due to injury. But I think the choice is easier if, say, you're like, your back was broken, or there's certain things that make it really easy because you literally can't go play. But with something like this, it is subjective. And I think that Mike McDaniel's point was more, don't pressure him and say what he should be doing right now. Let him recover. And I think the spirit behind I would guess what he more meant was like, guys, stop this. We're not talking about retiring. We're going to let him get healthy. Then he can figure out what he's going to do. Is kind of how I think he probably meant it. Some version of that. Mm-hmm. It just sounded super
and I hope
weird.
So. Yeah, because I like McDaniel. I just was like, that seems like an odd.
And it's probably what he meant, because I don't think he's going to want his players to be like injured, right? Or be like.
Right. I think he loves Tua. Injured. He's a big reason that Tua, he was like the Tua whisperer, I think. Not that Tua needed a whisperer. He just needed someone that didn't treat him terribly, I think.
He did give him the adorable little kiss on the head. Yes, Tua mentioned, I think, that the previous coach was kind of an a-hole. I don't know who the previous coach was.
They did not. We're not on good terms, I don't think.
Yeah, no, he didn't seem to treat him very well. But yeah, that's why I was surprised. But I appreciate your take on that. Maybe he meant it as a like, let the dude heal, let him make his own decision.
I would think, because it just makes logical sense, right? Because I don't know. And probably, I mean, I know he cares about him personally, and I'm sure he's stressed out. But I mean, I don't know. Those are some
tough.
It's
like something that you love, telling you like that you're not going to be able to continue doing the thing that you love. I get that.
Right. So, but it's so hard when you see somebody who's having these. You can see the trauma literally unfolding on the camera in front of your eyes. Mm-hmm. That's upsetting.
At the same time, I'm like, he should never have ran that ball.
Well, he shouldn't have. He should have just slid, or even just gotten tackled normally, not duck your head. Like, why are you ducking your head?
And it could it could have just been just an automatic like.
Right, but the point is that he sort of figured it out last year. What happened? Why did he not continue with those same behaviors this year? Because those are the things that protect you.
Maybe
and what's with the weight loss?
Maybe he's had too many concussions to actually, maybe that's.
It could be.
I don't know. Who knows? But there are a lot of injuries, out of like after week 2.
Yep, Pacheco's out now, right?
Yes, he's out with like it's a
tibia.
It's not a fracture. It's like
maybe he had a broken bone, broken fibula.
Yeah. So he's going to be out, which is going to kind of hurt the Chiefs. Although I will say their rookie Steele.
That's Steele.
the Chiefs are going to be fine because they're deep enough always. Yeah, he was.
Did you see
is that the kid with
the
like long blonde hair?
Yeah, the blonde hair. I was like, damn. I'm like, he's just hopping over people, and I'm like, where did you come from?
I know. I was like, who is this white boy with long hair? I never seen anybody.
He came out
like
of UCLA because I actually texted one of my friends, and I'm like, who went to UCLA. I'm like, hey, listen. I'm like, here's your little rookie right here, and I'm like, he's like killing it.
Yeah,
I can't hate on him because Clay Matthews used to be like my second in line husband after Aaron Rodgers. When they were both on the Packers. I don't know whatever happened to that guy. What happened to Clay Matthews?
Hey, Aaron Rodgers, the Jets won this weekend.
Yes, good for them.
Yes, I mean, but it is surprising that we have Cincinnati and the Ravens both 0-2.
Well, Cincinnati did what the Eagles did last night. They lost the game themselves because
I
were
agree.
To me, the two determining factors were Jamar Chase's when he was losing his mind over the non-call of the face mask and he got the unsportsmanlike conduct, so they put him back 15 yards. It was nonsense. Like, dude, get a hold of yourself. And Joe Burrow's over there, and you know they're boys, right? Because they play together forever. He's just like, dude, calm down, and dude cannot calm down. And then that pass interference on that last throw, it's like he hit him. He just so obviously hit him early. Like, you guys had this game, you had stopped them, and then you go and do that. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, but it was a good game. I was yelling the whole time. And I gotta record that.
I was trying not to look. I was like,
have to
I was yelling
out
too.
A bunch of words.
I was like, Jamar, calm down! Stop yelling at the ref. I was all fired up.
How can you not though? I can get it. I can see why you do that. I mean, your testosterone's going. You're just like so pumped up, and then you're just so pissed.
Oh, I get it. I'm a hothead. Like, I totally understand. But it's like, if I yell, it doesn't affect anything because I'm at home in my house. But if you yell, you're going to hurt your team. You gotta be more disciplined than that. I think it's like when players do stuff like that, you're like, come on. Now, I'm not trying to knock Jamar Chase. I think he's a great player. And I mean, no hate towards him at all. Just like, come on, guys, somebody beat the freaking Chiefs. And the poor 49ers. So Matt and I are going to go to the 49ers Rams this weekend at SoFi. Okay.
That'll be fun.
It's probably going to be awful for me, but it's nice because the 49ers definitely take over that stadium. But it's good because I'm Matt with me, who's the 49ers fan, and he's a big dude. So then, like, even if it'll help me to not run my mouth, like just knowing that, but it also helps to know I've got like a protector, sort of, if anybody's being
take
too crazy.
Some video footage for us.
Yeah, we will.
That'll be good. That'll be good. I'm actually really. So I was talking to my oldest, and I was like, I think we should try to get tickets to the Chiefs versus Niner game. It's on the last day of my hunt, though, on the 20th of October. So I'd have to try to get a deer. Hopefully I'm not waiting until the last day of the hunt.
Where's the game at?
It's in Levi Stadium.
Oh, okay.
But the tickets are super expensive. I was like, yeah, but I might just do it anyways because it might be an early birthday present or something. We just go.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. We do need to wrap it up because Tris needs to go to her what is it called?
A sound bath. I need to go.
Sound bath. Okay.
You know what I think? Every time you say that to me, even though you told me what it is, do you know what I picture is in Harry Potter? The pensieve or pensieve or whatever that thing is called that you stick your face in and it takes you back in time into memories. That's what I think of every time you say it. Is Dumbledore and Harry Potter sticking his face in there. I don't know why.
That's not what I was thinking, but okay.
What were you thinking?
She's singing the bath that Harry Potter was in when that ghost comes to him. Is
that yeah. And then he has a golden egg that he has to open underwater. That's what I was thinking, more of that. But
I actually thought at first it was a sensory deprivation chamber. Is the first thing I thought. But that would be the absence of sound bath.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, we do need to remind you guys we are doing a ESPN Pigskin Pick'em. So we have 106 people already, fans,
nice.
On there. So come on over. You guys can come over. It's just every week before the week starts. So you have to get your picks in before Thursday, and you just pick out what team you think is gonna before the game start.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have some prizes. We have to figure it out. So, but we'll have some prizes.
We're gonna have guys. We're gonna do a prize every week, and we will do it retroactively, even though we haven't decided exactly what the prizes are.
Yeah.
You'll get a prize every week. So even if you join late and you think, oh, well, I couldn't ultimately win like the end of the year big competition, you can still win every week, and it'll just be fun to play. So you can still win things even if you join later. And Matt can put the link up. We've also posted it on all of our social media. Like I know I've posted it in my Instagram bio. It's on our Irrational Moms Twitter. So you can go there and sign up. It's super easy. It's free. We never do any kind of contest where you have to pay or buy something to enter. So go play our game. Hopefully it'll be fun. I'm going to probably be one of the worst people because I'm terrible at picking things, which is why I don't gamble.
I don't know. I might be
It's just fun. You just all you do is click the team that you want, and that's it. It's really easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. That's why I'll do it. But I'm saying this is why I'm not a gambler, because I'm terrible at choosing an outcome.
Well, so am I.
It messes with me mentally that it says like 89% of people chose this team, because then I just always want to go for the underdog to try and get a leg up on.
Yep, me too.
I just go with, I don't know, whatever team. I don't know. I just go with whoever I think is the better team.
Yeah. Well, because what's so funny about the NFL is sometimes like the 49ers losing this week, it's like, well, sometimes the better team doesn't win also. Like the team that should win doesn't. And it's like, okay, well, that was weird, but pretty sure the 49ers are going to win this weekend at SoFi. But, you know, I guess you never know, but...
I take some footage. We want to see it. Take some footage. All right. So that wraps up for this week's Irrational Mom. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a question, and go over to the ESPN Pigskin Pick'em and pick out some teams for us. Also, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple and...
Oh, I thought you were going to say one more. Hey, we'll be back with more snacks. Caved in cookie Nutella stuff.